Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the Breakfast Show. I hope you're all having a wonderful, day so far. So, in today's, episode stream, we have a couple of things to talk about. We have, of course, the Salesforce, Snowflake, UiPath earnings from yesterday. After the market closed, we do have some names before the open right now. Build-A-Bear, for example. I think Dollar General also reported. And we do have some, I think already right now, or maybe soon, some jobs data, and then we'll talk a little bit about the AI race, because you've probably already seen, right? It's red alert or code red at OpenAI. It was also code red at Google not that long ago, and how the turntables. So a couple of things to talk about. We will have a special guest come on in the next, hopefully, half an hour or so, and then today, after the market closes, we do have Rubrik. So maybe I'll do a little preview on Rubrik as well. Rubrik today, after the market closes. Right now, it seems like the markets are a bit mixed, I would say. Some of the stocks that were up a lot yesterday after hours are down now a little bit less. Okay, fine. But pre-market, NASDAQ is basically flat. S&P, same thing, but green. The Dow is up a little bit. If someone gets the jobs data before I do, post them in the comment section. It'd be greatly appreciated. We did have Jensen go on the Joe Rogan podcast. That came out of nowhere. I guess that's what happens when Google turns things up. But I still didn't have time to watch it, but some people say it is quite interesting. So worthy of having a listen. Okay, so we already have some jobs data, it seems. Let me try and pull this up. And working with multiple screens is one heck of a hack. That's good. All right, so jobs data. What do we have right now? We got this. US continuing jobless claims rise 1.939 million. Estimated number was 1.960. The previous number was 1.943 million. So came in, I guess, a little bit better. As you can see right here. Rubrik is later today. Good morning, Roberto. Good morning. How are you? So this is it. Right now, if we look at the probabilities of a rate cut for next week, I highly doubt it has changed since yesterday. Let's have a look. Probably not. No, it went even higher. It went even higher, 89.2%. So we are now back in this situation where, and this, by the way, is 6 days, 5 hours, 23 minutes from now. We're now in a situation where bad is good is bad. Right? We've had that before. We've had that before where the scenarios were flipped and then the market suddenly is like, oh no, actually no, we only want good things. But in this case, you know what, we are now in a situation where I think, look, we can still cut rates because we're still quite high in my opinion, while also not getting the worst of the worst numbers out there to force the Fed to cut maybe 50 basis points or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Very bad is still bad. So we don't want to have, we don't want to get to that scenario where we get very bad and the Fed is maybe forced to cut way more um, than what it wants. And yeah, yesterday Yellen said that we do. Well, she supports a cut, which again, when you look at it, we are still very high. We are still very high, and it's not like inflation is again super high like 2 years, 3 years ago. But you need the cuts to help with the jobs market. Even though the jobs market is not in a horrible space right now, it could be in a much better space. And so yeah, we'll get a cut in December, which is next week. We'll get CPI data, PPI data, PCE. I think is this Friday. So yeah, I think we'll end the year in a better state, I would say. It's not to say that the market, I think Dan Ive said that tech is getting ready for another 20% year in 2026. I wouldn't mind, but it's not like it's going to be poof, super easy. Remember how we started this year, right? This year we started, wasn't the greatest start. Of course, we had the whole tariff story and blah blah blah. But the year didn't start great. But I think right now in December, I don't think we can complain about the performance year to date, right? I think across the board, most of us, if not all of us here, are making money and probably beating the market. So can't complain. And yes, you cut rates, you, let's say, put less stress on housing. I still think if you want to fix the whole housing issues, yeah, you cut rates, you let builders build. It's really the most basic thing is just supply demand. If there's too much demand, just increase the supply. The prices will drop. It's literally the first thing you learn. But for some reason, they keep the supply low. So yeah, good year so far. Nothing better than a little coffee in the afternoon. All right, let's see what we've got. So yesterday, this is pre-market. Okay, this is pre-market. We have PayPal still red. Yesterday was, of course, a bad day for us PayPal shareholders. Bad day followed by bad months. Because yesterday the stock was green and then it went out. We went down 2.6% after Jamie Miller again spoke. And for some reason, always wants to talk about the negative things and does not really want to talk a lot about the positive things happening at PayPal. And so yesterday we went down 1.3%, but 2.6. Now we're down another 1%. There is a reason for that. We do have an analyst note on PayPal. And then as for the rest, slight red across the board and some slight green here. SoFi also yesterday closed out the day down 1.5% or so. SoFi also attended the UBS conference. I will talk about that in a bit, because they did talk a little bit about the EPS for 2026. They'll come in closer to the lower end because of the investments that they plan on making, which means they are seeing potential for more growth. I think the lower end of guidance, which is 55 cents, is achievable and still higher than what the street is at right now. And yeah, and we had Venmo apparently that was down for a lot of folks as well. So when it rains, it pours. That's the PayPal way for now. When it rains, it pours. It's like in Dutch, you say na regen komt zonneschijn. After rain, there is sunshine. In PayPal's case, and this is what I've been saying for a long time about other things, is like after rain comes the thunderstorm, and it seems like that's been happening with PayPal. I laugh, but I should be crying. But I guess laughter is a good medicine. Then, looking at some neoclouds, I was surprised. I didn't check. I didn't check the number, the performance until after the market closed. And well, Iron was up almost 7% yesterday. Hut 8 closed up 6.2. Nebius also, I mean, went back to $90. We closed at $98, up 2.5%. CoreWeave also closer to 80%, was up 4.3%. So nice recovery yesterday for the neo cloud players. Then as for the chips, we do have Micron. Apparently, Micron is going to close their consumer or some of the consumer business because of the high demand that they're seeing right now for HBM and all of that. Okay. I still think Micron is very well positioned, but I'm not a buyer at these prices, let's say that. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me about the options. I'm also getting cooked after being up so much like a month and a half or a month ago with PayPal. Absolutely getting cooked, especially on the March ones. And even on the 2027 ones, I am losing on PayPal. But I'm less worried about those since we still have over 12 months for that. But the March ones, yeah, I'm deep in the red. Which we could have continued our positive momentum if they decided to be a bit more positive yesterday, but I guess not. I retweeted again my usual tweet towards Alex Chris about the acceleration in buybacks, and some criticism as well, because as I explained in yesterday's video, we were at $90 at the start of the year. We're now 35% lower. But the company is better today than where it was in January. So to me, it's a messaging problem. It's what I said yesterday. It's a messaging problem. There's no other explanation. Some people think, oh, but they're doing this on purpose to buy back more shares. Fine. But if that was really the case, they would have accelerated the buybacks. If they were to accelerate the buybacks, I would have zero issues with what's happening right now. Zero issues. But for now, I don't see an acceleration in buybacks. We'll see. My tweets have reached almost 300,000 impressions on X. So I'm pretty sure that he saw it. Pretty sure that he's seen it. I've also now directly messaged him on LinkedIn. My next step is investor relations. And then my last step is something I cannot disclose publicly, but I can go directly to him if I need so. But I don't think it's that professional. So I'm only keeping that one as a last resort type of thing. But yeah, I did now get a month for free of LinkedIn Premium. So I'm messaging every CEO, CFO out there that I would like to get on the channel, and we'll see if someone bites. If not, then not. But at least I took my shot, because you know what they say: you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. If you want to know who, it's Mercado Libre, obviously. Marcos Galperin and the incoming CEO, both of them got a message from me. Pedro Arndt from the local got a message. I think I sent some to the co-CEOs of Netflix, but I'm not sure now. PayPal across the board, they got a DM. Harley from Shopify got a DM. Dara is going to get an email from Uber. Would love to get him on. Anthony Noto, I did not. But Anthony Noto, I feel like everybody's trying. Like everyone in the retail community, Tanner, Tevis, whoever, is trying to get Noto, but he doesn't bite just yet. I'm trying to see who else. Let me know in the chat if you want to see someone come on from the companies that we talk about. That is achievable, obviously. So, going back here to the list. Disguised as an electrician going into PayPal HQ. Yeah, imagine. What I saw chat say, what did you say? They have tennis courts at PayPal HQ? I saw in PayPal headquarters they have tennis courts. Really? Then I guess I can go disguised as a tennis coach. Tennis couch coach. Is Vlaams your native language? Vlaams and Frans, yeah. Last step, hostile takeover. Yes, leverage buyout. I mean, if we all put our shares together, I think we can do it. I'm sending direct messages to CEO. Of course I am. What do you think I'm doing here? I am here an activist investor. All right. Who's up the most? HIMS is up 3%. I haven't seen anything news related, but we'll look at that. CRM is up 1.4. They were up way more than that. Yesterday. But again, not surprised. Good report. We'll look at that in a bit. And the rest, let's see. UiPath is also up. UiPath is up again very nicely. So results were good. Stock is up 9.2% right now. Snowflake, I believe, is down. Yeah, Snowflake is down around 8.6%. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's go over a couple of results here. We start off with Salesforce. Let's make PayPal a meme stock. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you promote this into Wall Street bets on Reddit. I'll take the short-term pump and run away. That's the issue. It should be a cancha de paddle. Yeah, I mean, they could transform one tennis court into 2 paddle courts. So, Payne Pal and Jamie Miller, indeed. So yeah, again, this is what I said before. I would not mind if they accelerated the buybacks, because again, we don't know how long this stock is going to be this cheap. They have the cash, so why not do it? Why not say, okay, right now, just like Uber, again, I'm repeating myself, but it's fine. Uber said it at the start of the year. We believe we are undervalued based on our current state of business. This is why we are accelerating the buybacks. PayPal should be doing the same thing. Because again, it's been 2 years and the stock has not done anything. So for now, it doesn't benefit anyone. And the dividend to me is a waste of money. Could have used that dividend to buy more shares, actually. I will not be doing a live for Rubrik, but I will cover Rubrik, of course, the earnings tomorrow or maybe in another video. Anyways, Salesforce, double beat for the quarter. Yes, only growing 9%, but this is something that we've known about. But for Q4, we are already seeing a slight acceleration in growth and 3 percentage points from Informatica, the acquisition. Current RPO for Q4 up 15% year over year. For the quarter, that was 11. And then for the full fiscal year 26 guide, between 9 to 10%. Again, nothing too crazy. Free cash flow is growing faster than that. So is operating cash flow, something that we've known about. Okay, we got some information on Agentforce and Data 360 ARR up 114% to now $1.4 billion. Very good. Agentforce ARR over $500 million in Q3, up 330% year over year. It's a small base, but at least it's good to see that it is growing fast. Agentforce accounts in production, up 70% quarter over quarter. Agentforce Data 360 Q3 bookings is around 50% from the existing customer expansion. So good comments here overall on the whole business. Yes, I know we've talked about Salesforce before. It is cheap. It was cheap for a reason, I guess, because growth was decelerating and it was slowing down. But we are now getting a small acceleration in growth. Not crazy, but then again, it is still a company that generates quite a lot of revenue and free cash flow. So I think shareholders should be happy with this quarter. And again, they are on track. They are on track to reach 60 billion plus of organic revenue that they've set out by fiscal 30. Couch est similaire à Kevin De Bruyne de Stock Analysis. Par contre, je suis pas blessé. Je préfère Eden Hazard, en fait. Okay, so that was Salesforce. What will the stock do? I don't know, but the results were good. Then as for Snowflake, Snowflake is growing 29%, or at least that was for this quarter, so beats across the board. For guidance, they're only expected to grow 27% next quarter to let's call it $2 billion on the high end. I do wonder if we get full year product revenue up 28%. So, okay, that was revised up a little bit. Operating margin 9%. So I do think that this stayed the same. Oh yeah, and they announced this. Snowflake and Anthropic announced a $200 million partnership to bring agentic AI to global enterprises. You know, we talk a lot about OpenAI going public, but I do think that if Anthropic goes public, maybe next year, I don't know, it's also going to be something very interesting because this will be the first big, let's call it AI lab, LLM, whatever you want to call it, that goes public. And then we can actually see what the heck's going on there. Revenue, free cash flow, the amount of users, enterprises that use these types of services. It's going to be a very, very good thing for the overall market. Well, hopefully a good thing, because if the numbers are bad, then you can, of course, get a full re-rating across the board. So we'll see. Keep an eye out on Anthropic going maybe public next year or maybe 27. Then UiPath. So UiPath, as you know, I don't have a position in UiPath, but they reported yesterday. Stock is up before the open. So we have a beat here, revenue and EPS for the quarter. Revenue is up 16%, nice beat. EPS came in at 16 cents, estimated number 15. ARR up 11% year over year. Q4 guidance basically in line, I would say. Q4 ARR, $1.84 billion, maybe a 1.85 if they do beat the higher end here. And we got some comments. So I'm pleased with our third quarter results, delivering ARR of $1.78 billion, up 11%, a testament to the team's focus, consistent execution, and the momentum we are seeing as customers scale agentic automation across the enterprise. Now, I'm curious. Let's actually have a look at a couple of metrics for the business. So, of course, over the past years, there's absolute horrible performance. Year to date, it's now green. Any news on Nebius? Yeah, I completely forgot that Nebius was also yesterday at UBS. I didn't have the time to look at it. So, let's see. Okay, so that's still the same here for UiPath. So if you look at the dollar-based net retention rate, it is down again For the quarter, it's at 107%. Again, it's still above 100, so okay, fine. But it keeps going down, right? A year ago, that was 113. We're now at 107. Again, you would like that number to bottom and then recover, right? The moment it recovers, the moment you're really going to get real acceleration in growth for this business. What else do we have here? Okay, again, same growth I would say with ARR for them for the quarter. License revenue up 9%, subscription 19. Okay, still fine. Professional. Okay, fine. I'm still not yet convinced, but the results, I guess, were better than feared, so it helps. UiPath, same like GitLab. Yeah, but GitLab has higher net dollar retention, right? Still, at least. Paramount apparently raises the breakup fee in Warner Bros. Studios, bid to $5 billion. Wow, okay. Apparently, Cambricon, the Chinese company, aims to triple chip output to replace NVIDIA in China. Cool. Let's see. Okay, I'm not surprised by this, to be honest. So Amazon is preparing to pull its parcels from USPS and lean on its own delivery network by the end of 2026. Color me shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Because this was bound to happen. Why would Amazon use USPS or any other one? They have their huge logistics network. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Then we do have here a RBC Capital raising their price target from $14 to $16 for UiPath. Stable quarter with solid execution, outperformance across metrics, restructuring noise appears to be in the rear view as management expects continued stability from here. So again, this is something that you can track. If you do see that dollar-based retention rate does, let's say, stay flat or recovers from here, you know that they're going in the right direction. Of course, yes, it helps. It helps when you are profitable or starting to be profitable. Dollar General is up 3%. Apparently, they also reported double beats. So I guess that's good. Good to know. Whoever owns the Dollar General. Build the Bear, small miss here on revenue, beat on EPS. 2025 guide has been reaffirmed. Revenue mid to high single digits percent growth. And that's that here. But I do have an unfortunate PayPal note. Where did it go? No, not Apple. Wait. Okay, let's start with this. So JP Morgan's Reginald Smith raises price target on SoFi to $31 from $28, an increase of 10%, maintains a neutral rating. Someone said something, initial jobless claim. Yeah, we saw. Did we see that? Yeah, we did see that. Chicago Fed sees US unemployment rate roughly stable. Yeah, okay, so still at 4.4%. Nothing much has changed. These are the results here for the jobless claims data across the board. We are going to get a rate cut. I don't think there is any question about that. The question will be more on what Jerome Powell says during his speech. Because just like last time, did we get a cut? Yeah, we got a cut. But then what he mentioned during the speech was not great, and that's when the market went down. So these are the price target raises, but some lower for Salesforce, more reiterations than anything else, I would say. For Snowflake, despite the stock's reaction, we do have more raises than lowering for Snowflake. JP Morgan did upgrade Toast to overweight, sets price target at $43. That's 22.3% higher than when we're at right now. They put a 19 times 2027 EV to EBITDA multiple, or 25 times 25 to 0.9 times growth adjusted at the price target. They view Toast as software-led payment leader with TAM expansion, expense discipline, and top-tier growth. I'm not going to disagree here because I did cover it last week. Good company. So here is JP Morgan downgrades PayPal to neutral from overweight. Thank you. Cuts price target to $70. But I don't really see any negative stuff in the note. So we have long been positive on PayPal as a scale leader in payments, possessing an enviable scaled two-sided network of millions of merchants and consumers, while being well-positioned to capitalize on exposure to digital commerce, which should support premium growth to other scale processors over time. Our survey work shows how dominant PayPal's brand remains, and we trust new management can wake this sleeping giant. Over the past 2 years under Alex Chriss, the company has accelerated product velocity, made strategic pricing decisions for unbranded processing, successfully transitioning to price for value, shown early progress enhancing debit card monetization across PayPal and Venmo, and maintained operational rigor. So you might ask yourself, why cut your price target if you are giving us this type of comment? Easy answer here, stock is lower. Stock is lower, and you don't want to be looking like an imbecile. So, yeah. Jeremy Romine is bearish on SoFi. Who is Jeremy Romine, and why should I care if he is bearish on SoFi? I don't know why we should care. But anyways, who cares about who Jeremy is? Because, one, Meta is now up 5%. And two, we have here someone.
Someone.
I don't know who he is.
It's been too long. What's
We have
going on,
Jose
Neil?
back on the show. Welcome. Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. Is my voice good? I don't know if I messed something up.
Voice, everything's good.
Perfect. What's going on, Neil? How's everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day. Hopefully it's a good day in the market. I haven't opened my... Wait, market's still not open, so I haven't even seen anything yet.
Yeah, but apparently
Hmm.
Meta is up 5.2%. Zuckerberg plans up to 30% cuts for metaverse effort. But metaverse efforts,
How much does Reality Labs actually cost them? And how
I
much is a
mean,
30% gonna really save?
yeah, I mean, they're
Is the
anyways
stock
losing.
up like 100 billion on the company saving like $2 billion a year? Is that what's happening right now?
Meaningful cut resources for building metaverse. But what does that even mean?
What do they cut? Yeah.
Because the spending is pure. All the capex is not really going towards metaverse right now. All the
Yeah.
capex is going to GPUs, the huge data center build-outs.
I wonder if what they're gonna do, Neo, is they're still gonna do the spending, but instead of going to the metaverse, like, hey, instead of spending $2 billion or whatever, however meant on a year, and giving it to the engineers that are working on some digital world right now, maybe let's give it to the eyeglasses people, or some of the other stuff. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
because
just
I
happy
mean,
it's not the information, because I know the information yesterday did something
yeah,
else with Microsoft.
with Microsoft.
Yeah.
Now this one is Bloomberg, but yeah, I mean, yesterday there was the news with that where they poached the design guy from Apple, the head. So I mean, he's supposed to help them with UI, UX, maybe product design and things like that. Which again, I don't know who even thinks about the metaverse anymore when looking at Meta.
Yeah, and because they have the reality labs, right? That's where the metaverse umbrella falls into. But I'm pretty sure I think their AI labs also falls into that reality labs product. I think when you kind of look at the expenses, I wonder where their AI model falls into, because they pretty much just have the two businesses, right? They just have um their advertisement business, or their kind of social media business, and then they have the reality labs. So the question is like, where do things like the AR glasses fall into? I'm gonna guess reality labs. Where do the AI labs fall into? Is it each project is different depending on the project? Some projects might depend on the core business. So many questions here. And like the metaverse, how big is the metaverse portion of that reality labs? Is it 10% of total expenses? So if 10% just gets off by 30%, you're not really cutting off much. But if the market likes it, I'm happy. $675 on that. That's wild. I'm happy we bought though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to me again, the reality labs is their, it's like Google has their own like smaller bets, their lab where they basically do whatever they need to do and then some things might come out of it. Reality labs is basically that, VR, AR, mixed reality, whatever. But let's face it, the majority of the expenses there are just them also buying just huge amounts of GPUs and whatnot. So okay, if the market likes this
Yeah.
move, great. But I still think that they'll continue to go heavy with AR and VR.
Yeah. So I think so too. And it's just so weird that that is the driving force, like saving a few billions, if it's that much, and the stock going up. What is it up? You said it's almost 6%. Um, so $60 billion or so on that news. Wait, what's the market cap of Meta? I always forget.
One point something. What is it?
1 point something. All right, so closer to 800 billion on saving that. The market is
Um,
still exciting. Yay.
yeah. Did you have a listen to the Joe Rogan podcast or not yet?
I listened to the first 45 minutes. This is going to be one of those that I'm going to be doing in incrementals. Like I can't sit for 2.5 hours just listening to it. But it's pretty. Did you listen to it, Neil?
Not yet, but just
Mm,
uh,
Yeah,
Reality Labs operating loss is 4.4 billion a quarter.
yeah. So
So
about 18 billion, 16 billion, 16,
more.
17 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
But
still
then
have
17,
40% operating margins.
yeah. But then again, 17%, 17 billion on Reality Labs. But what was interesting with that report you said is metaverse, right? So then out of that 17 billion, how much is the metaverse expense out of it? Unless they meant to say Reality Labs. That's a whole different thing. If they meant 30% of Reality Labs, um that's definitely a nice chunk, but we then need to figure out how much does metaverse equal of the Reality Labs portion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
And Balkan Muscle, I guess, losing billions to what? Well, here, losing billions in Reality Labs every single quarter. No, so going back, no, I didn't listen to the Joe Rogan
Mhm.
podcast just yet.
I
Just yet.
I would say the first 45 minutes has been just Joe obviously asking Jensen a question, Jensen giving a pretty good answer. And then Joe being like, "So is that when AI kills us?" Um, but I think as an investor, it's pretty cool to listen to this, because I think Joe Rogan is talking more of how maybe the typical public is looking at AI. right? So it's not how your typical investors looking at AI. It's not how someone who follows this industry looks at AI. So as a form of, is there any real alpha from this interview? Like sometimes there might be in other interviews. I would say the answer is looking like no so far. But it's more just to understand maybe how the average public is looking into the AI market and what are some of the fears of terminating of the Terminator being a real killing thesis.
Okay, so again, more of a reiteration of what we already know. I mean, it's like the AMD conference yesterday. Nothing new, if we're being honest. Nothing new other than, yeah, memory is tight, but okay. So what we've been hearing for the last couple of weeks as well. These conferences to me are a bit useless. Like, why do we need them if you're just going to repeat the exact same thing you told us 2 weeks ago? Um, I, did CoreWeave had anything this week?
Yeah, core we've had two. They had a Bank of America financial one, and then they yesterday on Tuesday, and yesterday they had the UBS. Um, I agree, Neil, especially since AMD just recently had their AI investor event and the earnings for them. I think theirs was pretty just a rinse and repeat. I can't remember if I saw anything new out of theirs. But I think with CoreWeave, because and Mebius also had one yesterday. I think because we haven't had earnings, um, might be things that your real deep dive investors know about CoreWeave and Nebius, but it's definitely information that probably you didn't find or you can't really find too much during the earnings call. Like for example, CoreWeave mentioned they talked about kind of how i- during the earnings they talked that they renewed a 10,000 H100 contract and at 5% the cost. And then the second thing they mentioned, something new that they mentioned, is that wasn't a one-off. They've actually had seen a lot of those older contracts being renewed. So that was a pretty cool, interesting note to take, that look, it's not a one-off thing. The other thing that they mentioned that I thought was pretty cool with CoreWeave is with the GB300s right now, Neil, they mentioned you're coming to us with the GB300s. We're not doing anything lower than a 4 to 5 year long-term contract. If you're coming for 3 years, too bad, too sad. That's where the market is. We're coming. If you're signing up for GB300s, you're doing for at least 4 to 5 years. And we already know for a lot of these, after 2 to 3 years, you're already paid off for the GPU, and then after that is either paying for other stuff. But within I like that, because then within those contracts, you already paid off for the GB300s, and more importantly, if you get re-signed on the GB300s later on in the 4 to 5 years, now that's just additive money. Nebius also said some cool things, but I'm going blank there. But little gems for both Nebius and CoreWeave in the past 2 days.
Okay, no, I mean it's getting interesting, right? We have this whole red situation at OpenAI because of Google Gemini. We've had the code red at Google before when OpenAI came out and Google was really behind. Um, it's interesting. It's interesting how everything moves very quickly. OpenAI, I mean, again, I still think that if you go randomly ask someone on the street, if he's using any AI product, probably a lot of them will say ChatGPT because it is the first one that came out. So at least they've got that working for them. But they're probably a free user, like the majority of people. But we'll see. I think, I mean, if Anthropic goes public next year, I think that's going to be very interesting.
Oh
There are
yeah, I
lots of,
forgot that was announced. Yeah,
I mean,
rumor
reports, rumors, yeah,
reportedly announced. Yeah.
to have like a first very big player go public, and we actually get to see how much money they make or lose, and their customers. I think
And
could move the market.
yeah, I think I hope Anthropic is the first one to go public. Um, just because what we've heard from Anthropic, right? They're actually really successful. They have a really good business model, and it kind of helps us understand. of how they make what's their business. Like tokenization is actually a business model. They're making margins on selling tokens. If you have a great model, you can sell your tokens at a very high cost. And they've actually really focused on selected amount of targets they want to hit. For example, Anthropic doesn't care about image generation. They don't care about video generation. They're just focusing on being kind of like that best at coding embedded. And I've actually gone from nearly, I think before my about 2, 3 months ago, was 80% chat GPT, 10% Gemini and 10% Gemini and 10% Claude. That has completely shifted for me. I would say I'm 80%, maybe like 85 or 90% Claude now. Um, like 7% Gemini and about 3% Chat GPT. I'm actually today I might even cancel my monthly subscription on them just because it's Claude has been killing it like no tomorrow.
What use cases, what do you use Claude? I mean, Gemini, I guess, for general stuff. What do you use Claude specifically?
Yeah, so Gemini, what it helps me the most. So Gemini is really good at making slides. It's killer at slide making and the thumbnail making. It's really good with creatives. I would say it's really good with creatives. Claude, I'm using it for research on like transcripts and stuff like that. It's really good at reading long context and giving me great data out of it. Because Gemini is good at really long context, but I feel like it's missing some fluff, or it gives me too much fluff. Where I feel like Claude gives me everything I need. Because usually if I post a long context in Gemini, I would usually do like 3 chats to finally get all the topics that it'll finally hit everything. Um, with Claude, or so that was with Gemini. With Claude, usually in the first run, I get everything I need.
Hmm, not bad. I mean, for me, I thought people use Claude purely gaming, coding wise.
Coding, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you think, I use it also to help me with a lot of. I think it's really good with research and analysis, especially in the financial world, because at the end of the day, what is coding? Coding is just kind of understanding Lego pieces and putting it together, some form of critical thinking. Um, and when you're doing like research with numbers and data driven research, it's again pretty critical thinking ways. So I think that's why, even though it's great at coding, it is also great at that research phase because it however it does that coding process or that thinking phrase um, translates well with at least the type of research that I like to do. Um, which is very data driven.
Okay. No, fair enough. What's crazy to me is, well, we'll talk maybe about Oracle in a bit, but what's crazy to me is the difference between fast and thinking. It's night and day. When I do the same prompt but fast on Gemini, okay, the results are fine. But if I need like an image or a graph or something like that, horrible. I just change it to thinking, mind blowing stuff. And it's not like it's taking 5 extra minutes. No, it's just a couple of extra seconds more, and it's the quality is night and day. It's insane, insane.
No, it's definitely, even though I feel like not much has changed, these models are no longer like, wow, getting so much better. But I think, I don't know, something has happened with Claude that, and maybe it might be happening with Gemini, but the memory of knowing me. Claude has
Mhm.
done really well at doing that. And it really, where ChatGPT has like, I don't know what's going on there. I really don't. It's Claude it just gets me. It's my AI spirit animal,
Mm,
which is doing really well. But yeah, I mean, Gemini's killing it. I mean, Google every time, I think search mode, AI mode, every time I go to search is one of the easiest thing for me to do to get the real answer that I need.
agreed. Agreed. I mean, in Gemini, I think this week I got the prompt about memory. that it knows what we talked about before, and if you want to continue that conversation or blah blah blah. Memory is a big deal with these things, because I just hate it when I have to remind it again. You know, we talked about this. You remember? But it is getting better and better and better. That's for sure. Um, Oracle. I think that finally we got a confirmation. They are going to report, okay, next Wednesday, apparently.
Oh wow, we still have our yeah.
Yeah. So it's next Wednesday. What? You own it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, recently somehow you texted me. I don't know if you have access to my account. You know, you texted me when I was buying this one. Um, I think like a few days ago. So I
Exactly.
like it again. Yeah. I mean, obviously with this one and CoreWeave, you kind of have that fear of that debt, and you have the fear of the AI. So you have these two have massive debt, Oracle and CoreWeave, and then you have the scaredness of an AI bubble, and then you have the scaredness of their CDSs going like crazy in forms of prices. So it's created a massive domino effect, in my opinion, on those players specifically. Obviously, we've seen some of the other neo cloud players also go down, but I think there's opportunity here because obviously you have that fear of OpenAI, but I think even if OpenAI fails, someone's going to need that compute. I'm going to be out there needing more compute for all these AI things that I do. So it's not going to be compute that's built for nothing.
Yeah, I think this is something. Didn't you say this in yesterday's video about CoreWeave, that they don't really care about like
Mhm.
the specific customer that will win, just because anyways, if something's available, someone's going to pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. Corey mentioned it. I don't know if it was on their Tuesday. I think it was on their Tuesday. I haven't listened to the one on Wednesday, but on their Tuesday one, they said, we wish our customers the best of luck. It'll be great if they all win. But at the end of the day, the way they made it seem is like, it doesn't matter who wins. One winner is going to take all this compute regardless, just because it's going to be needed for everything. Healthcare, whatever, healthcare, robotics, some form of automation. So it could be a lot of winners, or there could just be one winner that does it all.
Yeah. Any specific things you want to read or see from Oracle, or just like reaffirming the market that look, the RPO is there, revenue growth is there, and they are still committed to achieve those goals?
One thing that the CoreWeave did mention is they don't need any access to the bond market for building stuff, which I think is good because then you don't really have to worry too much about these crazy CDS values that we're seeing. I wonder if a similar question is going to come up for Oracle. It's like, hey, if to build out the kind of infrastructure you need, what kind of markets do you need to get that money and financing from? So I would love to hear maybe a little bit more about that. Um, and then maybe even though we just had their financial event, so I don't think we would hear any changes, but just are we seeing that trajectory that they showed to us during their analyst day of this is how much revenue we need in cloud infrastructure this year and next year, as long as that trend is there? Or do they even give us an upside on this year? Maybe I don't care if they give, I don't want an upside on 5 years from now, Neil, or 3 years from now. I want to know if they give me an upside for this year. Oh, we were
Mhm.
expecting, I forget the number, 12 billion. Now we're expecting 15 billion this year. That would be a better than me getting $100 billion growth in the next 5 years, because that shows you that the growth is happening right now and that trend will continue. Um, so any short term improvement would actually be extremely bullish for the long term thesis.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree, because I think right now the market wants reassurances that, okay, you're telling us your RPO for the next 4 or 5 years is this and that, but okay, but in the meantime, what are you going to do? Like in the meantime, you have a lot of debt. You don't have the free cash flow for now. So yes, over the next 12 months, are we going to see a huge increase, top bottom lines? Um, I think that's a big deal. And then, yeah, if the numbers are good, the report is fine. I think it has a positive effect on the core weaves and all the other players in that market. Although I do think that right now, compared to maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, things are a bit better sentiment wise. The stock might not reflect it just yet, but sentiment wise might look a bit better.
I would like for both Oracle and CoreWeave, Neil, to get an Anthropic deal. I think Anthropic is doing now the similar OpenAI stuff, right? I think Anthropic made a deal already with Meta, not with Meta, sorry, with Google for the GPUs. They made a deal with Amazon, obviously, with their with their Trainium. They made the deal with NVIDIA with their GPUs. So now we know that they're really going to plan on using heavy GPU usage. So it would be cool to, they've made some deal with Microsoft, I think, as well. Yeah, it was the Microsoft and
Hmm.
NVIDIA work
Yeah.
together. Um, I'm really extremely bullish right now in Anthropic. I think they're really going to do really well. And to see them going with, hey, if Oracle comes out, I don't know if they're a partner, maybe I might have missed it already, or a customer. But if Oracle announces something with Anthropic, that would be extremely bullish because now you don't have OpenAI being that whole RPO. Um, and then similar with CoreWeave, if they announce something with Anthropic, I would see that as extremely extremely bullish. Or anybody, if whoever Anthropic makes a deal with, Neil, I think that would be a heavy heavy bullish for that company. Be it Nebius, be it whoever. Um, I think Anthropic is really good so far.
Let's see if
Have
we
you been
have.
buying any of these, Neil? I know Iron has kind of continue to see a little bit of pullback similar to my core weave. Besides your Nebius, and I know last time we talked, you were buying core weave. Um, have you been focusing on any of the other names?
Yeah, so I bought Iron yesterday for the first time in a long time. Um, but yeah, before I bought a little bit more of CoreWeave and a little bit more of Nebius. But yesterday was the first time where I bought some Iron after a while. And honestly, I was because I bought it when every name was red, and I don't know it. Every name ended the day quite green. Iron was up almost 7%. Nebius 2.5, almost back at $100 again. CoreWeave also nice little reversal. So I guess something was maybe it is Jensen at Joe Rogan that that changed the sentiment.
Well, I think Microsoft did come out saying that the
Yeah,
things were false. So I wonder if that also just helped a little bit.
true, true. We do have 2 minutes until the market opens, so let's see if we've got
I have a
some
question
more.
here, Neil. Foos, thoughts on GitLab dropping after earnings? I
Mm,
haven't, Foos, or Waldo. I haven't looked at earnings. This is one of those companies still where, unlike my AI companies or my chip companies, I think my chip companies I need to be on top of every day just because of the massive competition and everything. GitLab, I haven't seen it yet, so I even see. I haven't read the report. $38. I might just do that maybe sometime this weekend, but no thoughts here. This is, in my opinion, very similar to your Adobes and your where the sentiment. What I'm gonna guess is more the sentiment is still negative around AI coding and stuff like that. Just like there's that negative sentiment in AI creatives, and how it's gonna eat some moat in their space. But I'm gonna guess financials still look okay. So no, I think it might be more of a sentiment thing than anything else.
yeah, it was more about um, growth, maybe slowing.
Did I lose Neil? Is Neil, guys on chat? Let me know. Am I down or is Neil down? Let me know on chat. Up, couch is down. Welcome. I'm taking over Couch's channel. Thank you. My name is Jose Navarro. How's everybody doing? The market opens in 30 seconds, maybe about 20 seconds. Neil knows down. He's thinking. I put heavy thinking on Neil. I didn't put fast mode here. Neil is down. Inference. Oh man, we lost him. Now we know. We can confirm Neil is AI. Might be using Grok. Not the best AI though. Ding 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 ding. The market is open. I think. I think the market is open. Um, I don't want to share screen. I have too many stuff up here. But ding 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 dong. Welcome back to the channel. If you don't follow me, join me at Jose Najarro Stocks. I don't do live streams, but I join Neil here. Okay, inference seems to be done. Inference, Neil, are you done thinking?
I'm done thinking. I went from fast to thinking mode. So, did you do ding, ding, ding?
Yes, of course.
Whew, wonderful. Wonderful.
Uh,
So, the markets are open. I didn't pay the bill for the inferencing, so apologies on that. But yeah, what do we have here? What do we have here for a weird opening?
let's see. Anything? Is Rob here? Rob, did you go in with Neil here on Iron? If you did, maybe I will.
Let's see. Fintech, we have mostly reds. Neoclouds are all red at the moment. Cypher 3%, Iron 2.7, Hut 2.6,
I
Nebius
did purchase
0.5.
Wi-Fi a little bit more on the 17th, 16th. Rob, he is in Iron. I forgot. I think he might have been there already.
Neil was saying he's a fan of Data Vault. No, I didn't. I still have no clue what they do. It's like Resolve AI or whatever that was. I can't remember. Chip wise, we are also mostly red. And big tech is, well, Meta is up 4%. The rest is flat-ish, I would say. All in all, for now, it's like 40, 60
More red than
green red.
green, but
Yeah.
not that bad. Nothing crazy scary compared to what we've seen in the past.
Correct.
Neil, did you see that Micron news? I haven't seen it. I mean, I saw it. I haven't read into it, but they said that they are stopping their Crucial, which is a portion of their consumer.
Consumer.
Thoughts on that?
I mean, I hope they do it because the demand on the other side is so big that it makes sense for them. I guess it is. I guess it
Because
is, and I guess margins are much higher.
yeah, because even the pricing of consumer DRAM, which obviously is what is end up being taken to make some of these HBMs, that's the kind of the story of the supply balance there. But I heard DRAM has been going like crazy in pricing right now. Luckily, I'm not building a computer anytime soon, but um, yeah, interesting to see them do that.
Yeah, I mean, they are yet to report anyway, so I guess we'll have to wait another 2 weeks or so to get some news.
Do
What a
they report
beautiful.
late or early? I always say they report early, but it's
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's either very late or very early because
yeah.
it's very, yeah. But this is a beautiful green candle that we're seeing here. This is
That's a
PayPal.
0.3% candle, you know.
Yeah, but we were down 1% pre-market. And please let me celebrate my small wins with PayPal because we don't get much. We don't get many wins here with this one. The pain. Micron, do we have a date? Yeah, apparently we do. 2
Yeah,
weeks from now.
December. Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how you call this. I think it's I don't know if it's late or early. Because then we'll like next earnings season starts end of January. So
It's just probably more late, right? I would say late then, because we still have Oracle next week. So if it's only a week away from
and
Oracle
Adobe.
and Adobe, okay, it's late then.
Well, let's see. Nike. I think Nike is also one of the Nike is also next week. So I don't
Did
know.
TSM announce when they're reporting it?
No, TSM. I mean, TSM is with ASML and Netflix.
Yeah, those are usually one of the first ones. So I wanted to see if
Yeah, no, that's mid January.
okay. Oh,
We
that's
still have
crazy.
time.
I can't believe
Still have
we're
time to
already.
crash.
Yeah, we still got time.
Still have time to crash. All right, let's see if we have some improvements here in the ratio. No, we do not. We do not. We have just have Meta that's green, but we do have some selling pressure here. AST that's up a nicely over the last couple of days. Hims, Reddit. Man, every time Reddit sits like at 200 or below, it feels like a no-brainer buy just for a little trade for Reddit. Duolingo is green. Now that voila, I had to check to make sure if Oscar is red or not.
It was green when I opened.
Yes, it
Is it still
was.
green? It was.
It's not anymore. It's not anymore. PayPal is still green for now, holding on to its life, but the usual thing with PayPal is it gives us a slimmer of hope, and then it's like, whoops, rug pull, goodbye. Um, and let's see, then some. What Iron is down 1%, not such a big deal. CoreWeave, also same thing. Amazon, man, Amazon is really not getting the respect it deserves.
No, I think this one needs some respect. It was pretty interesting. I don't know if you saw with their Trainium chip. Trainium 4 is going to be using NVLink Fusion, which I think is pretty wild.
Yeah, so okay, can we talk about all of this conversation right now? The
Go
NVIDIA
ahead.
camp versus the non-NVIDIA camp? Because all of these companies, of course, are still using GPUs, but all of these companies also have their own custom chips. Now, like you said, Trainium 4 is going to use NVIDIA anyways, or parts of it, right? Um, so is NVIDIA themselves just positioning the company for a future where, okay, every other company that's been buying our GPUs heavily is going to have their own chips anyways. So we might as well help them and make those chips better by giving them access to NVLink.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening now. I mean, they're gonna get. I think Jensen has talked about it. If you're not gonna buy everything from us, at least buy something from us. Um, I also think it it's also gonna be crucial to see how things are gonna be put in the Lego piece. Like, how do these connectivity things work? Especially with ASICs. Um, can you actually make a server that because for example, NVIDIA with their new Vera Rubin, they have the CPX. And the CPX is a form of like an ASIC, Neo. And you still have the CPX and you still have a GPU in there. Is there going to be a, is there going to be something like that for a lot of these hyperscalers where they create like a server where you can already have your ASIC and a GPU in there? And then is this like also a future way? Another thing I was thinking is now Amazon, if they do really well with this, they're going to be, look, I can actually do something really good with my TPUs and NVIDIA GPUs. This is why you're going to want to come to AWS. Is this the dominoes effect that makes all these other players said, if we want our ASICs to win, we actually need to be able to connect to the NVIDIA ecosystem. So I wonder if we start to see more. This is the domino effect where we see more hyperscalers engage in the NVLink Fusion um, ecosystem.
Okay, no, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know. It feels like the market and people talking about the market just try to find something to poke at every single week. Like every single week, I feel like there needs to be a topic or a story that comes out that tries to make this whole AI wave go down or something like that. It's like either people completely missed out on it or they just have no idea what they're talking about because it's every single week. Every single week there's something else. Yesterday we had the information with their BS article made Microsoft lose for one at one point what 3% of their value. Like it's I don't know. It's very strange.
I agree. I mean, it's weird. The market takes everything and tries to find a bullish and bearish thesis to it. Um, Just like here with this pattern, right? There's some people might look at this as bullish, and some others might say bullish long neck or bearish dinosaurs are extinct, so it's the end of the world. Um, with Nvidia, I mean, the Joe Rogan podcast, feel like I saw a few bearish posts saying that that's the top, just because a CEO went to a podcast is the top. Um, we saw, and then I saw other people say be extremely bullish on a CEO just being on a podcast. Then same when they responded to Google's TPU announcement. Some people saw this as extremely bearish. Some people saw this as extremely bullish. Some things don't have to mean anything. They don't have to mean anything. They could just be a thing. Um, and yeah, I think right now the thing has been very bearish though, so it's been that domino effect, right? I forget what started it off. I think it was OpenAI making a deal with everybody. That was the first thing. Um, then after that, you started to see maybe Michael Burry talk about bearish things. Then you started to see Gemini. Then you started to see TPUs. Then you started to see the red code with OpenAI, and it's like everything. It's been that domino effect.
Yeah, it started with DeepSeek. It started with Blackwell overheating issues.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's strange. Another name here, Marvell. I mean, complete turnaround, right, over the last month. Have you have a look at the report or not
y- y-
yet?
yeah. I looked at earnings. Earnings were good. I mean, they gave us clarity for not just this fiscal year, but next fiscal year. They even gave us a baseline for pretty much 2 years out on what they're seeing. Um, I mean, is it less than 100 bill? Is it less than $100 billion still? I don't remember, but it was close to less than $100 billion market cap. And you have various AI accelerators. You have the ASIC space. They also do a lot of things with connectivity solutions. They're entering the AEC markets. They obviously have retimers, PCIe stuff. So they hit a little bit of everything in the AI space. And now with the new acquisition they made of Celestial, I think it's the company called Celestial, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, they just increase more potential of expanding their TAM dramatically. Um, and they say with their current customer, they're doing really good with them. So, and they're going to be ramping up more ASIC chips in the future. The big thing is, is right now, most of their ASIC depends on one or two customers revenue. So if those ever leave, that destroys this thesis right now. Um, but yeah, I mean, looking good so far.
Yeah, it's at 88 billion right now market cap.
Mhm.
Um, Now I was impressed with the ARR growth of Celestial. I think they said that it's going from 500 million in 27 or 28 to a billion just the
Mhm.
year after.
Year
So
after, yeah.
yeah, impressive growth, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because they're, and I like it how most, about 40% of what they're gonna pay on the company is actually dependent on them hitting milestones. If they don't hit those milestones, then they don't get that extra pay. Because I think it was 3 points it was a total of $5 billion plus acquisition if everything goes through, if they meet all the milestones. But at the beginning, it was like I think 3.2 in 1 billion in cash and 2.2 in stock-based compensation. And the remaining $2 billion is they need to hit these milestones, which in my opinion isn't crazy, right? Because if they get an annual reoccurring revenue of about 1 billion by the end of the year, of whenever they gave it, right, fiscal year of 2028 or 2029, and you're paying only $2 billion extra for that. But most people tend to give price to sales ratio at least at least a 10x. It's worth more than that, right? So Marvell, one thing they're good at is definitely acquisitions. Um, and if those milestones hit, I think this is going to be another strong acquisition with them.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, Anything else that popped up lately?
No, how about you, Neil? Anything you've had in your mind that I haven't heard?
Honestly, no, no. Other than PainPal, now still still being red again. I think we had like 3 seconds of glory for today.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, nothing. I think the end of the year is going to be interesting purely based on macro things, rate cut, inflation data, FOMC meeting next week. So I mean, next week is turning out to be quite a week with Oracle, Adobe,
Mhm.
FOMC meeting. But other than that, no, I think it's been a good year all in all, right? I don't think we can complain about the performance um, year to date. Again, I'll show the heat map. I think everyone that's been invested has been doing quite well. Whoever is short is already losing money for 2 years straight, 3 years now. So
Mhm.
it's true that the last month has not been great, especially if you are exposed to tech and whatnot, then your performance is down a little bit compared to where you were 2 months ago. But I don't think we can complain.
Yeah. No, I think I was just looking. It's like even if I look after 3 months, I'm still up over like even where I was like 3 months ago. It's pretty much. It seemed like October. It was a lot of excitement. I was pretty excited. Um, and we just got some little bit of reality. But overall, for even if you just started this year, this chart is pretty cool. I mean, Google 65, Nvidia 33. Now, even if you went heavy during some of the crashes we saw
Hmm.
in April, these numbers are even insane. So, yeah, at least on some cool names. It's pretty crazy to see though. Some of those software names, Neil. CRM down 29%. Salesforce. I don't know. Yeah, Salesforce. Adobe down 27. And ServiceNow and Accenture all down about 20 something percent.
Yeah, even Synopsys. Oh, Synopsys
Yeah.
NVIDIA announcement a
Ah,
couple of days ago. Um, but yeah, I mean, software has been
yeah.
taking a hit this year for the obvious reasons that we've been talking about. Whether or not those reasons are correct, time will tell. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you bought when the market crashed in April or even during DeepSeek, you are up way more than these numbers right here. Um,
And these numbers are already great, right? I mean,
exactly. I mean, these numbers are excellent.
yeah.
These are the numbers you usually don't even get in 2 years of normal markets, let's say. Um, but yeah, Broadcom is one crazy story.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw a few questions here, Neil, for me. Just one constant. Am I buying TTD still? No, I'm not buying. I don't remember when's the last time I think I talked about it a few months ago. Um, but ever since we've seen like more massive pullbacks in AI stocks and semiconductor stocks, and usually when that happens, Joni, that's where all my eyes go into. Just because this market is super, super exciting.
yeah, no, I agree. Agreed. But yeah, it's yeah, up until October, everything and everyone was probably like, "Ooh, we're making so much money," and then yeah, it was Sam Altman not answering the question of Brad Gerstner during the podcast,
Oh,
and
I think that's where it was, right? Yeah.
yeah, that started the snowball avalanche. Um, funny, funny, but then again, if you, I know it's not fair because everything went down. You can see exactly like mid October, maybe start of October, most of the high flying names are coming down one after the other, like identical chart patterns. Um, but on the flip side, I think someone said it in chat before. I understand it's not fair because there are the quantum names, the Oculus, and all of those companies with literally zero in revenue that should have come down 50%, if not more. But they came down and they dragged everyone with them. This is again just how the market works. It's going to happen in the future as well. In the future, I'm sure we're going to have big pullbacks, but with every big pullback, the great companies usually rebound much faster than those that are based on nothing. And this is something that you have to understand. If we are buying high flying names that are already multi baggers for us and can become even bigger multi baggers in the future, we should be prepared to get hit in a month by 20, 30, 50% sometime pullbacks. Just the reality. It's unfortunate, but we can't control the markets. You talking to yourself or what?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you there. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, things, it's especially for like the Mag 7s, don't look that scary at all. Maybe the Mag 6 and maybe the Mag 5. I don't know. Apple always surprises me, even though they don't do nothing. They don't do anything. But for like your Microsoft, your Google, your Nvidia, your Meta, I'm pretty excited for them. And that to me trickles. If they're doing good, they're gonna spend that money, and it's gonna trickle down to the rest of the ecosystem.
Yeah, agreed. Plus, we have now QT ending, QE might restart
Mhm.
whenever that happens. Rate coming down should be helping, should help the stock market, But bottom line is, are earnings growing? Yes. Are these companies growing? Yes. Are some companies based on fake stuff? Yes. Just like every single time. Maybe this time a little bit more than before, because yes, there are plenty of investments and there is this whole wave. I don't think we are in a bubble, but every time there is something new coming out, you do have everyone going up, and then yeah, a lot of those names do come down,
Mhm.
quite a lot. But if you are invested in these big companies right here, I don't think you should be worried that much or at all.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds good, Neil.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
That will be it for us for today. For me, I have a rubric later today, but I'll just cover it in a video or tomorrow's live stream. Um, and yeah, besides that, have a great rest of everyone's day. Whoop, switcheroo here, voila. Thank you, Jose, for
No.
coming. You're always welcome, especially when
Thank you,
things
Neil.
are getting better, not just worse. Although when things are worse, we know why you don't show up.
Because I'm
Um,
crying.
so yeah, thank you all for joining. Have a great rest of your day. We shall see each other in the next one. Bye bye.